AEWM podcast.
I'm on a boat. Everybody look at me. I'm on a motherfucking boat. I can't actually remember the lyrics, I will be honest, but I can hear John Moxley singing it now instead of Sweet Caroline. Du, du, du. If you haven't seen that video, watch it. It's fucking hilarious. Welcome. I am your host, George. Hello, welcome. And alongside me, returning back from the mosh pits of Slipknot, it is Brad Cassidy.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal, but not as brutal as both of these shows. So we'll hopefully try and get a decent bit of review in here on the go.
They weren't the best shows, but
no, I mean brutal as in like hard hitting, like amazing. Shows.
They weren't the greatest shows because it felt like not enough happened. As I was writing my notes, I was like, oh, that's it.
2 title changes happened, mate. I'd say that was a lot.
No. I mean, like, in terms of actual articles as a whole, I was sort of writing them down and went, oh, I thought there were more for AEW. Okay, cool, I'll do NXT. Oh, I thought anyway, I'm rambling. As always, subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Acast, Podbean, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast from to hear the dulcet tones of my voice and of Brad's and of everyone else here at TWM News. I will not ramble on into the next section as we get into NXT, and as Brad said, title change, big stuff. Heading into this week's NXT, we obviously got the big announcements of matches, and one of them was Keith Lee versus Roderick Strong, and I think it comes as no surprise that we have a brand new North American Championship in Keith Lee. I don't think anyone was shocked at this. Do you, Brad?
No, not at all. I remember saying this, but because you were a bit upset that he wasn't going for the NXT main championship, I was like, just give them a chance. They'll give them this belt. And it was an incredible back and forth match with Roderick Strong, very hard hitting. Keith Lee was very dominant during this match, full 20-minute classic, and yeah. See,
parts of what bits of it though, I would say Roddy actually did control. He got on top and he managed to keep Lee down. Obviously, the good thing is that they've continued the injured leg storyline that he had from last week when they Pillmanized him. Obviously, last week he was running around fine and knocking security guards into a bush. But this week they, on commentary, brought up the leg and said, he's targeting the leg, trying to weaken him. And I think at points, Roddy, I don't think it was as dominant as Keith has had in previous matches. I think Roddy definitely got a chance in there. And he obviously had the other 3 members of the Undisputed Era outside to help him. But yeah.
It was more calculated by Roderick Strong, though. It wasn't so much
it was
a power thing, whereas Keith Lee was, whilst he was getting targeted, whilst that was going on, Keith Lee was kind of going full Hulk mode and just powering through it, and that's what I quite enjoyed about that match generally.
I love that now Keith has just gone Keith, like it's like Brie mode, but it's Keith mode, and when he goes Keith mode, he just goes ballistic.
Definitely, yeah.
It's like when the bell rang in Festus in 2009.
Yeah, but if he's like this throughout his entire reign, it's going to be a good time for NXT. I don't see him being in the Rumble now, though, just purely from winning this championship.
I heard a thing earlier today. Apparently, on a podcast, Ciampa was asked who he would want to be in the Rumble the most out of the NXT lot, and he did say Keith Lee.
I mean, I can see it. I'm not going to say I don't, but I don't know, like, isn't that like mixing up NXT storylines with main roster storylines a bit too much?
Well, I mean, I think if he had a showdown with Rollins or Reigns, I think it'd just come full circle back round to Survivor Series.
Well, yeah, definitely, yeah. Especially with Reigns, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm 100% on board with him being the North American champion. But
as am I, a dominant champion.
It does mean that it is coming to the end of Undisputed Era, though, for me. Because
I have always said this, that I think the first person to go will be Roddy, because they'll call him the weak link, in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, this probably was before, I was listening to the show, even, never mind being on it.
Oh, yeah, I said this about a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a strong prediction, that is, and yeah, I can see that, yeah, definitely. Yeah. But he was the last to join as well, though, wasn't he? He was,
yeah.
Yeah, so I can see why he'd be considered the quote-unquote weak link of Undisputed Era.
And what we got last night as well was an Imperium and Undisputed Era brawl, as this North American title match was the main event. After that, the dun hit, and obviously Imperium comes out to the ring. Adam Cole, like an idiot, takes his shirt off ready to fight and received the loudest chop you'll ever hear from Volta. Oh, Brad, this was brutal. I felt sorry for him.
I think this will be an incredible match on Saturday, and they came out during the thingy match as well, didn't they? The George Geal.
They did, yeah. They just sat on William Regal's perch.
They've been stalking them, well, following them this entire show, and this brawl on Saturday is going to be relentless. I think between Yui and Imperium,
it is going to be dirty, brutal fighting, and I feel sorry for all of the Undisputed Era being in the way of Volta and those chops. It just makes me cringe. I always cringe a little bit anyway at chops, because I'm like, obviously us wrestling marks, you know that sometimes the contact isn't actually there, but chopping is contact, and that must fucking hurt.
Well, he's like blimmin' nearly 7 foot, isn't he? So you can imagine a palm the size of Volta smashing you into the chest is not.
Have you ever seen a still image of him doing like Sheamus's beat at the Baldwin, and he's got his fist on someone's chest, and it's like the bloke's chest is just rippled around his fist?
No, I can't say as I have.
If I find it,
I can definitely picture it.
Yeah. 100%. Volta is a brutal man. As Brad mentioned, obviously we had two semi-final round matches for the Dusty Classic last night. The Grizzled Young Veterans defeated Undisputed Era thanks to the distraction by Imperium, who were on William Regal's perch, and Cole and Strong had gone round to sort of say, come down here. Fish and O'Reilly were just sort of looking in that direction. Gibson pulls Fish out the ring, and then they hit Ticket to Mayhem on O'Reilly for the pin. And then we got Broserweights defeating Imperium clean. No Undisputed Era interference in the match to cost them it at all.
Yeah, but the Broserweights are definitely two wrestlers that they're trying to get behind. Like Matt Riddle is a legend. Pete Dunne is the longest championship champion in like modern history for a good while. So I can see them winning the whole tournament, Broserweights. I
mean, they've already got t-shirts and they've only had one match together at this point. They've obviously had two now. At the point of having only one match, they've already had a t-shirt, which is pretty cool actually. It's like half Pete Dunne's bear and half of a stallion.
Well, obviously, Roderick Strong lost tonight, so you can see the Undisputed Era coming to pass. So do you reckon the Broserweights, if they do win, would go on and be the NXT Tag Champions? Yeah,
because Triple H is such a fan of Pete Dunne, but I can't see Pete Dunne being in the main title picture because he's still a little bit green in the eyes of WWE, and obviously North American title is going to stay on Keith Lee forever, so he's not going to be against Keith Lee because he's a face and so is Keith Lee. So I think putting him in the tag team, not only does it give him exposure, but it also gives the tag team division exposure as well to work rates like Riddle and Dunne.
Yeah, definitely. Riddle and Dunne would. I don't want to say it because obviously Red Dragon are amazing, but they would carry that match 100%.
Yeah, massively. At the end of the Broserweight match, we got one of the things I never thought I'd hear on WWE TV, and that is a promo between a Scouser and someone from Birmingham.
Yeah. The British is strong in this, isn't it? But it's good because they're bringing NXT UK up to a very, very similar level that NXT is on. And as a UK wrestling fan or as a fan from the UK, it's good to see that massively.
Yes. Yeah, so James Drake and Zach Gibson came out to, in a sense, congratulate the Broserweights on their win. But did say, ultimately you guys are going to lose, etc., etc. Dunne comes out Dunne just gets a mic and just starts being blunt and being Northern. And a fist bump between Riddle and he, and that's how it ended. A big talking point. Riddle's mustache is gone, thank God. And he had a braid down one side of his hair, which was quite interesting because it made him look like had really short hair at one point.
I've got to admit, I didn't like the braid, but I'm happy that mustache it's gone.
Yeah, so am I. Yeah, the mustache was interesting. Other stuff we got last night: Shayna Baszler defeating Shotzi Blackheart in a really good match, and Shotzi, was the fiery underdog in this match. Backstage, Shotzi got attacked by Deonna Purrazzo. So basically, clear Shayna's schedule for next Sunday.
Do you not think that this is a bit of a quick loss for Shotzi though? Like in the respect that
it was quick, match. But look at what they've put. Look at what they've put behind Baszler. Are you surprised that
she's but from Sunday she's not even going to be NXT? So I mean I don't know that for certain, but I'm telling you now, she's probably going to win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, she's still the bookies' favourites to win the Rumble. I'm actually on Sky Bet as we speak, so I just wanted to make sure. As it stands, she's 1-3 to win the Royal Rumble, closely followed by Ronda Rousey. So mental C, but it was a quick loss for Shotzi. But then, if you think about what WWE have put behind Baszler, I'm not surprised.
Do you think there's any way that they're going to rebuild Shotzi, especially if Shayna's not even going to be in NXT to get a return win for it?
No. I think that's a one and done, and then Shotzi's going to move on to this feud with Deonna. And
right, so yeah. So I in my mind, I was just worrying a bit like they were burying her already. But it depends. I hope she beats Deonna in this feud though, because she does need something to establish her. Obviously, because she's very new to the NXT crowd. She's only ever wrestled
3 matches.
I want to say Christmas, and she was in that Battle Royal last week, and she did quite well. But
she eliminated Baszler, so.
Oh yeah. That's obviously it's her revenge. So
yeah. Other women's news we got last night is, before I go into this, the NXT Women's Championship is no longer called the NXT Women's Championship. It is called the NXT Championship. So we've got.
I'm going to sound slightly sexist here. Isn't that going to be confusing? Unless you're saying names, you say, "Oh, the NXT Championship's being on the line tonight." You instantly think of the men. So I know this is probably slightly sexist, but I wish they hadn't changed the name of that. There was no.
Yeah, I agree with you. Only because it's gonna piss off some hardcore non-female wrestling fans in a sense, but that they don't matter. They're just there.
No, it's not that. It's just if you say to me, "There's going to be an NXT Championship tonight,"
Adam Cole. Yeah.
Exactly. This. I want to see how it progresses, because obviously my mind can be changed on this, but right now it's just a bit confusing.
I very rarely get sucked in by clickbait, but what culture? You suck me in with clickbait on Twitter by saying that with your article saying Rhea Ripley is no longer the NXT Women's Championship ... and had their article link to it, then it just go, it's now the NXT Championship. Well done, you got me by clickbait. But speaking of Rhea, last night we had Toni Storm, her challenger at Worlds Collide, defeat Io Shirai by disqualification after Bianca Belair got involved for some reason. I have no idea why. She attacked Toni, she attacked Io, stood tall, talked a bit of trash. Out comes Rhea. Her and Rhea have a bit of a brawl. Rhea gets taken out of the ring. Shirai takes out Belair, and then Toni takes out Io, gets back in the ring, lifts the title belt. Toni's definitely not winning on Saturday.
No, she isn't. This is obviously setting up for is it Philadelphia the next one? Portland. Sorry, but this is obviously setting up for a triple threat at NXT Portland. It will be good. It will be good, but it's kind of ruined this the NXT Championship match at Worlds Collide for me a little bit.
Well, I mean, I only say she's lost because she touched the title belt. Rule number one of a title match or a title feud in wrestling is don't touch the title belt when you're the challenger. because you won't win.
Definitely. And it's not just that, it's more the fact that they could have done this next week.
Yes.
But they've jumped the gun here. So this is only the one of there's two matches on Saturday. There's this and there's the NXT Cruiserweight Championship match. And obviously the NXT Championship match was one of the biggest one. So now it's obvious that women aren't going to main event.
And I think the main event is going to be Undisputed Era.
Yeah, I can agree with that, definitely.
Because there is, do you know what? I actually have a look at the card quickly. I know that Kaylee Ray is Mia Yim in a non-title match.
Yeah, but that's on the pre-show, that is. So
that's
don't
the pre-show,
know
which is
anyone's going to see that. Is it pre or dark? It's pre.
I'm pretty sure it's pre-show. Obviously, we've got DOY and Mustache Mountain, the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Obviously Imperium against Undisputed Era, Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm, and Finn Balor and Ilya Dragunov. Segueing very nicely to Finn Balor defeating Joaquin Wilde very, very, very quickly. DJZ is not going to stay in NXT, is he? No, he is not. I think he was brought in for experience. Obviously, DJZ is Zima Ion or Joaquin Wilde, whatever you want to call him, has been around for a long time. Like, at least 10 years? So he's been brought in for his experience, I think, to work with younger talent or, obviously not Finn Balor, but whoever. Who did he face last week? Who did he face last week?
I have no idea. I've got to admit.
Oh, well, he's only 33.
Yeah, he's young. This is bad to say, though, but I didn't watch last week because I wasn't doing the podcast.
You were at Slipknot, that's fair enough.
You might have to fill me in. Who was he facing last week?
Oh, I can't remember now. Oh, it's really going to bug me. I think he's a bit of a journeyman. I'd obviously say older. He's 33. I think he's a bit of a journeyman, isn't he? He's been around for what seems a very long time. I mean, he made his wrestling debut in 2003, so that's 17 years.
Well, I don't want to slag him off, but it's not as if he would do much on the main roster anyway. I think he'd go straight to 205 Live. So, yeah.
He is on 205 Live. He is on 205 Live.
Is he on 205 Live? Yeah. I never watched it, so there we are. But, yeah, I can see him going AEW. Let's just be blunt.
Yeah, no, but I mean, if you don't cut the mold for WWE, you're going to AEW. It's really what it comes down to. We did get a promo of Unba Zigba, Ilya Dragunov, regarding his match with Finn Balor at the upcoming Worlds Collide. I said off air to Matt, because he was there as well. We both went to Progress 101. It's actually the first time I've seen Ilya Dragunov compete in person, and he is utterly fantastic.
It was a download when I saw him last June, and he was good then as well in the NXT UK shows. He's just an incredibly talented wrestler, really, Dragunov. Yeah,
I was sat like the first row away, the first row from the back of the stage of where they come out. So I looked at as obviously comes out. I look over my shoulder, and he's doing his like proper. What's it like when he does his flailing arms and he sort of does his bowing and spits out water and lands on me, so I can officially say I've had water spat on me by Ilya Dragunov.
And I've high-fived him, pissed out my face at a festival, so...
But you don't remember that because you're pissed out your face. And we also got one more promo last night, and it's actually the last thing to speak about for NXT, between Captain Kota and Tegan Tuniz, who basically just said they're going to kick the piss out of each other at some point whenever they get their hands on each other. And it kind of like backgrounded their story that when Tegan was rehabbing her first knee injury, Kota was there to help her through. They became best friends. They became part of Team Kick. Then Kota was left out of War Games, and that's when she turned. And yeah, it's a really good storyline build of two best friends and one goes bad. And whatever point that these two have fisticuffs, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah, it's going to be one. It'll be Portland. I want to say the right one.
I think so.
It'll be at Portland, definitely. I can see that, and it'll be quite high on the card because one thing that I can commend NXT for doing is it does build storylines better than anywhere else in WWE.
It does. And I've noticed this for a while and I've never said it. If you are like me and you're a fan of NXT, but you're also a fan of the TV show Grey's Anatomy, Kota looks like April Kepner. If you've ever seen Grey's Anatomy, look at the pair of them. It really is weird.
Right, this is something that I'm going to have to look up in my spare time because I've never seen Grey's Anatomy, but there we are.
It's a good show. Anyway, no talk about NXT. NXT's done. No talk about Grey's Anatomy. Let's. Do
you want the matches for next week?
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, do matches for next week.
Perfect.
I always forget you have these.
It's all right, yeah. Well, obviously, I've got the NXT changing the name to NXT Championship. We've mentioned that. But next week, we've got the Broserweights versus Grizzled Young Veterans at the end of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic on the 29th, sorry. Tegan Knox versus Dakota Kai's... Oh, sorry, I've spoiled your little thing there. It's actually announced for next week's NXT.
I reckon this will be there'll be a blow-off match. It'll be important.
Definitely, but it will. They are doing at least something, and yeah, that's it at the minute. But keep tuned for next week's show, and we'll give you a full run through it.
Why not spread? I said, why not spread the gospel of the TWM squad with some of our lovely merch over at Teespring? We have t-shirts for all shapes and sizes, hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and loads more. Also, just for listening to this podcast, you can get 10% off your order. I said using the code podcast. That's podcast. Once again, podcast in the checkout for 10% off at teespring.com/stores/TWM-wrestling-merch. That's right. Praise. Testify.
Before we get into AEW, Brad, have you heard the interesting tidbit about this week's AEW?
No, go on. What is it?
Well, obviously it's pre-recorded because it's on a boat.
Yeah,
it's in the middle of the Bahamas at the moment. I don't actually know where it is. It's somewhere off the coast of Miami, America, Bahamas, around there. It's sort of pre-recorded. Apparently, there was a chopper that took it to mainland to get it uploaded or put out onto TV. But Tony Khan insisted being 2 copies just in case one failed.
I mean, it makes sense. But next year, it's actually already been announced that they're going to go live from the...
Yeah, I'm making sure I go to next year's one. Definitely. We spoke about it 2 weeks ago and how cheap it actually worked out to be. I'm going.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, by the way, I want to make a clarifier from last week, from 2 weeks ago, because I realised I sounded an idiot. It was 13,000 with everything included. Yeah. So I misunderstood what you were saying. So that's me being stupid.
No, it's good. Apparently, it looks like a massive sausage fest, though. A lot of people have been saying on Twitter, but not that really matters because, like I said in the response to a tweet to someone, would you, if you were a female, and based on how male wrestling Twitter fans can be, would you really want to go onto a cruise ship with a lot of them? No.
The sweatiness and the gammon would run off.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing, AEW, when you're on a boat, don't use pyro. It's windy. Like, so many wrestlers nearly got hit in the face by pyro.
It's not really the pyro that I had a problem with. I think
is it the smoke?
No, it was more just the constant wind noise that's going on when they were trying to do promos. Couldn't they have put it inside? Like, I know it's on a boat, but couldn't they have like a little enclosure or something where they can put people inside?
I don't know what kind of boat he uses. I know it's a cruise liner, but I don't think it had any roof to it at all. So I think it was just an open top, top ring. So unfortunately, and it was done at night, which is even windier. If they'd done it in the daytime, I think.
Well, they had every chance to because it was pre-recorded. They won't next year because next year it's live.
It'll be live.
But, yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's Kinks. It's the first ever wrestling show to be recorded at sea, to my knowledge.
No, they did the Ring of Honor of whatever it was tournament last year on Jericho's cruise.
Oh, Honor at Sea.
Yeah. They did that, but it's only the second ever show and the first ever for a new company to be recorded on there. So yeah,
kinks and things to work out. But what we did get last night was another set of new champions, because Adam Page and Kenny Omega defeated SCU to become the AEW World Tag Team Champions.
Do you want a little bit of tidbit here? A little bit of tidbit. This is the first ever title change in AEW.
It is, yeah. It is. It's mental. Because it came to... I just didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
I just didn't see it coming.
I did. They're going to turn on each other still.
Oh, of course, yeah. It's going to be Page turning. When?
Well, I don't know when, but enjoy the ride now, because Kenny Omega, spoilers for everyone, he's my favourite wrestler. So if he's got a tag team championship, if he's got any form of any championship, I'm happy for him.
Is he still a AAA Mega Champion?
I believe so. I don't watch AAA, but I don't think they've made any reference to him losing it. No.
Oh, fair enough. In the match, Kenny Omega got hit with the SCU Ladle, which took him out of the match, and AEW actually had a really nice setup of their ring, because it's something I really like from when TNA used to do it, and it's where you have the ramp, and then you go straight into the ring. There's no dip in the ramp, like it's all level up to the ring apron, and at that point, Adam Page had got into the ring, hit a buckshot lariat out of the ring to take out Scorpio Sky, hit a buckshot lariat back into the ring to take out Kaz, and got the 3 count. Kenny Omega was on the floor and had absolutely no idea what was going on, so he didn't even realise he won the title. He looked so confused. Page is celebrating, he's happy. The Young Bucks come down, get Kenny Omega, go, yeah, like saying, oh, well done, that sort of thing. Page sort of goes, what are you doing out here? Like, why you go away? He gets out of the ring, takes a beer off a fan and drinks it. And do you know what else I found out, Brad?
What was this?
The beer is free on the Jericho Cruise because Tony Schiavone said it.
It is, but that was part of the whole very expensive thing. It's not free if you don't have a certain package, and I think it's only about $200, so about 180 quid, and that's for I think that's like 2 drinks a day or 3 drinks a day free. So yeah, definitely, yeah. There was a lot of free alcohol going on.
That gets you going first couple of drinks in the evening, doesn't it? Definitely, I don't think you want to, like, on those sorts of holidays, you'd probably be having a drink throughout the day, but you don't really want to get slaughtered during the day, and it's just more, let's get rowdy in the evenings.
Well, I think because it's sort of a music festival as well, isn't it? So you're going to have people there for that side. But yeah, it's. I don't know, because I know I have experiences of wrestling at music festivals, but I've never experienced the other way around, if you get what I'm saying. NXT UK at Download is hectic as anything. Like,
is it really segregated? Is it like just sort of out the way?
No. Well, it used to be by the Avalanche stage was like the pop punk stage and the hardcore stage and all that. But now it's towards the right. It's on its own little bit, but that's only been since last year.
Oh, fair enough.
Definitely, yeah. But if you do go Download, make sure you go, because they do take into NXT UK, and you can see yourself on the network because it's that small.
Yeah, no, it is pretty cool. But yeah, it's like the Jericho Cruise is wrestling, music, comedy, podcasts. Basically, it's Download meets WrestleCon meets just a general festival, sort of all rolled into one on a boat. And you're actually out at sea heading to the Bahamas. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I said, I don't know when Page is going to turn on Omega, whether it's going to be in the title match where they lose and he just does a classic heel jump off the apron, I'm not taking you in, bye, or if it's going to be Omega loses to titles and he just goes absolutely nuts on him.
Omega's a bit of a, if you know any history about Kenny Omega, he can turn into a little bit of a like a psychopath kind of sadistic sort of brutal wrestler, but that's only if he's lost. So if he's won, he's very happy and jovial, and right now he's on a winning streak, so you're not going to see it for a while, but the moment things start going bad, he'll turn again. The
thing is, I think that would make a great segue for him though. Like, he's all jovial, he's happy, he keeps the title, he gets attacked by Page, and that attack by Page brings out his ruthless side. Obviously, he went on a bit of a losing streak and couldn't find himself, in a sense, and sort of just went into his tag team. and being attacked by Page could bring that side out of him, and we'll get him as world champion very, very soon.
Did you see Hangman Page's crowd surf though? Like towards
yes, I did. You could hear him saying, "Pick me up, pick me up."
He's turning into like sort of the party dude of AEW, and I'm glad they've talked about me, not the whole Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, WCW drinking way. It's made it a lot more fun doing that.
Yeah, he just takes a beer off and downs it.
But then again, it can. If they decide to want to win, it can go that way. So they've got wiggle room for where that sort of angle can go.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what they do with him. As long as they don't have him pithead and just sort of sitting there drinking sad.
Which is what they did with Scott Hall and Road Warrior Animal, and because obviously this is the modern day WCW, at least how I view it. So I'm just hoping they've learned from the predecessors' mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. Last night we got the number one contender for the AEW World Championship. And it's not a surprise that it was Jon Moxley to defeat Pac, coming out through the crowd like he does on a boat with an eye patch on. And it's mighty impressive that he managed to win a match. Mighty impressive that he managed to compete in a wrestling match with one eye.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, taking some training.
That was a very brutal spike from Jericho though to his eye.
Yes,
so like. You can see why I selling it, but Pac in that match did very well as well. I thought Pac was quite competitive, and at times when he was sort of more on the offense, I was actually convinced that there might be a very slim, but there might be a slim chance that Pac might win, and that might be on an episode of Dynamite before they go into the pay-per-view. So. Yeah, definitely, but I can see why they've just made it a singles match, because Jon Moxley versus Chris Jericho is that I think that has headlined WWE pay-per-views, and I can see why, because they're both incredibly talented and incredibly established performers.
The only match I can remember them two having was the Ambrose Asylum match.
They've had like a few, I want to say, but that's definitely the most famous.
Yeah, it was definitely most famous. I would like to see Pac take the inevitable mid-card title belt and just make it so important.
I don't know.
Look what he did with the Cruiserweight title.
Yeah, he accentuated it until WWE pissed on his chips. But he accentuated it a lot. Yeah, I can see him winning a mid-card title, but like, what about Darby Allin? Or someone like Joey Janela or Orange Cassidy? There's so
Jimmy
many.
Havoc, we'll just name all the hard.
Exactly, there's so many. Well, they could have like a hardcore division. That would work for a mid-card belt, yeah.
Yeah, they definitely should. Other things that happened last night: Britt Baker defeated Priscilla Kelly. Speaking of Darby Allin, obviously his wife, but cut a heel promo on her. After the match.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't know who Priscilla Kelly was. She's never been in AEW before, has she? Because
once she was in the female Casino Battle Royal, but that's it. This is her only other appearance, I believe. But she is mainly famous for that tampon spot, if you've ever seen it in an indie, where she had a tampon down her tights with fake blood on it, and she put it in her opponent's mouth.
Right, okay. No, I've not heard of this. That sounds a bit gross, but she was very talented in this match. I thought she looked a little bit green, but this must be like one of her first few matches that's been on like a TV audience, so I'm going to give her a bit of a benefit of the doubt here.
I'm pretty sure she's actually relatively young, because obviously being married to Darby, she's 22.
Yeah, Darby Allin's also 22, yeah, for a fact.
No, Darby Allin's 27. Darby Allin's 27.
Is he?
Was she? Oh, so she was. She lost in the first round to Deonna Purrazzo. Sorry, Matt speaking in our ears. You guys can't hear him. But not only was she made 2 appearances on TV for AEW, she was rounded in a Young Classic. defeating to losing to Deonna Purrazzo in the first round.
She's still green though. It's a third televised match if you want to include a battle. I don't want to include a battle royal because she can just hug a ring post and get away with that. But yeah, this is a second like full on sort of singles match. So she needs a bit more work, but I can see her being quite high in the women's division in like a couple of months' time.
She's also a little bit like. She's a little bit different because she's a little bit. She's not only is she punky, which obviously is a relatively niche thing anyway with Paige, Shotzi Blackheart, etc., but she's just a bit eccentric and a bit weird. So I think she sort of that kind of can set her aside, and her in-ring ability match with it would make her.
Other than the tampon story, I have no idea of this because for me she was just like a woman with red hair. She was good, but like I need to see what she does. I need to have a bit more time with her, I think, before I can say one way or another definitively what I think of her.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. But yeah, as I said, Britt Baker cut a heel promo afterwards. So she's transitioning to be a heel alongside her husband, her boyfriend even, Adam Cole. And basically said that Tony Schiavone used to work in Starbucks before AEW brought him in, which is hilarious.
She does suit being like, sort of a nasty woman, better than being like a smiley dentist, I thought. Because
she's got a better scalp than she's got a better smile.
Yeah, well, I mean, when she was a face, I was just bored. Like, I'm not going to even lie. But I knew she was a talented wrestler. There was just nothing in there that was making me invest. But now that I know she's not turning, her versus Riho will be a lot better.
Yeah, because it'll be a bit more brutal. And Riho's always been good as the underdog because of their size and everything like that. So a vicious, nasty Britt Baker versus Riho would be pretty fantastic. We got Inner Circle, Jericho, and Proud and Powerful defeating Jungle Express. And Jungle Boy was wearing a life jacket. Not Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt.
No, Marco Stunt. That was a little bit too gimmicky.
I don't like Marco Stunt.
I mean, I did, but he's doing things that are making me not like him.
Yeah, I think it might be his booking more than anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like the fact that there's a smaller wrestler, sort of doing it. I mean, I don't like the fact that he's actually physically dominating much larger opponents because there needs to be a sense of realism. But for diversity, including him, he's incredible. But I hate that stupid Fortnite dance that he does, and this life jacket is just making me not enjoy it. I'm not going to lie. And I loved the Jurassic Express when they first debuted, but they're starting to grate on me. I'm not even going to hide that fact.
Oh no, the other two are fine for me. It's just mainly Marco Stunt. Apparently he did something singing wise, but I can't remember what it was. And it's I don't know if it was fake or, but it impressed Jericho so much they booked him to sing next time. Which they should also book John Moxley to sing because his rendition of Sweet Caroline was absolutely wonderful, as was the crowd's rendition. Huh?
I saw that on Twitter and it was incredible.
Yeah,
what was the crowd's rendition?
Of Judas. It's so good.
Yeah.
It is so good. Jericho just comes out of the ring looking mean like he always does, and everyone's just singing Judas at the top of their voice, and that is why wrestling fans and alcohol can be funny. Because
I'm not going to lie, Fozzy are a very boring band, but something about they've struck gold with that song.
They look like a boring bunch of people, don't they?
Yeah,
and
it's Rich Ford from Stuck Mojo, so yeah, definitely. But yeah,
is he the really skinny one, Rich?
No, he's the one with long hair. He's the guitarist.
Is he the one that looks like the guy from Metallica, or am I being in it?
Yes, he looks a bit like the guitarist from Metallica with when he swapped blonde hair. Yeah. But yeah, they've struck gold with that, and the crowd lapped it up by far.
Yeah, Judas is one of probably their best songs that they've made. I do like a lot of them. Just absolutely fantastic, and also the fact that Jericho his theme song, which just one backs up his arrogance of I'm not going to have anyone else sing my theme song except for myself.
And it shows his pure creativity as well, and evolving nature and multifaceted talent. So it works on. If he was a face, it'd work on both accounts. So
massively. And the final thing we got last night was MJF to Joe Janela. She cuts a promo and basically saying Cody can't touch him, yada yada yada. But he just talks shit about Cody for like 5-10 minutes. Out comes Cody to a raucous reception. He gets a big old cheer, does his usual cut the ear, sort of let me hear you in a sense, and he says, MJF, you're right, I can't touch you, and that sort of thing. But before he can speak, MJF goes, you want to say something? Just guys want to hear you. Goes give him the mic. As Cody goes to grab it, MJF drops it, and as Cody goes to pick it up, MJF just kicks it off out of the way. Gets out of the ring, flips the birds, and then Cody's like, yeah, you're right, I can't touch you, but these guys can. The Young Bucks appear behind him, double super kick, and then they throw him this way.
Yeah. See, I love stuff like this, like the whole
it's stupid
stuff. It is stupid, but that's what wrestling is. I'm not going to be like this. I know I write for a wrestling site, I am a wrestling fan, but wrestling is inherently stupid. And that angle, it goes into the best and worst and whatever else part of it. It was brilliant.
I mean, if you look at this entire angle, all the way back to being the Elite days of MJF being a dick to a dog and teasing him with a steak and then throwing it over the fence so the dog can't have it, to moving up to saying he slept with a legend's daughter, to saying Cody can only have his match with him if he takes 10 lashes, to this. It's inherently stupid. Huh?
He is an arsehole. He's an arsehole, but he's a lovable arsehole.
He's got such a face you want to slap. It's his smile. He's got such a arrogant smile, and he just fits perfectly because his real name is actually Maxwell. I've forgotten the J now. James, I think.
Have you seen that video? Have you seen that video of him though? I can never take him seriously now. Have you seen that video of him as like a little kid? I think he's on like Oprah Winfrey.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this. I haven't seen it.
And he's watch it. He's like free. He's like, I want to be a wrestler. and like every time I see him, I'm like, oh, that's that guy. So like, if he's going on like being a dick, I'm like, yeah, well. Before we go into next week's, before we go into the comparison, we'll talk about next week's matches. First news story is that Lance Archer is going to join. Well, he's in talks to join AEW anyway.
Interesting.
What do you think about him in like New Japan? Do you rate him as a performer, Lance Archer?
Well, compared to what he's done previously, he has killed it and smashed it in Japan. And for 43 years old, still got so much more to give this wrestling world. So I think AEW would be a great place for him to go.
Definitely. And coming up for next week, we've got Chris Jericho and Santana and Ortiz versus Darby Allin and Private Party, also known as the Goth and the Two Frat Boys.
Yes.
The Young Bucks will be against the Butcher and the Blade, and Cody will... And the Bunny. And Cody will face Kip Sabian in a singles match. And also Jon Moxley will be discussing or having a promo or whatever about AEW Revolution against Chris Jericho next week.
Very lovely, very exciting stuff to hear what will be going on for next week. But like we said at the beginning of this podcast, it was an interesting week. As I was writing the notes, I was writing them and then thinking, oh, that's it. There's not much to go, left to go. What do you reckon of each show? Do you reckon was the better one?
The better one, I thought, purely from the standpoint of that bloody wind, was NXT. It was just ruining everything. It made the ring apron sort of push up, and it distracted me from the match, flapping in my face. I couldn't hear the promos properly. NXT had, the amazing win of Keith Lee, the two Dusty Road Classic matches. So yeah, for me, it's 100% NXT. And that's the first time I've gone with NXT since we've started this year. What about yourself?
I will go with NXT only because the production value for On the Boat was a little bit of a difficulty to deal with, like you said. But obviously it's kinks, it's things they've just got to get sorted out for the next time they do it next year. Obviously it's only a once a year thing, so it's not really going to be every single week. But yeah, I think NXT as well, Keith Lee, the women's Dusty Classic, something we missed talking about in the NXT segment, and that was Matt Riddle saying, sorry, you said the word joint, I got distracted. That generally, I think that line itself just made the show, really. Because I think because I was just watching them, once and trying to get them over with because of work and other commitments, I missed that line. But I will 100% go back on YouTube. That's going to be something that's a bit of homework for me afterwards. Yes, massively. But we shall end here and we'll wrap up. Don't forget to follow us on the socials at TWM Wrestle on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Acast, Podbean, and YouTube. Head over to TWM News now to read yourself some articles. And I'm actually prepared, and I've actually had a look on our website of what articles we've got out at the moment. We've got a wonderful an article by Tom Walton about how NXT went from a game show to a phenomenon. 30 what-if moments for this year's Royal Rumble, written by James Klonowski. We've got which NXT and WWE superstars should Mercedes Martinez face first. Obviously made her NXT debut last week. That's written by Victoria. And then you've got my beautiful article. And when you mention Vance Archer, it's because he's actually part of it. It's wrestlers that you may not have known that wrestled for WWE. And we've also got the part 2 of Dave Meltzer's Effect, written by Adam. So we've got some lovely articles. Go head over to TWM News, TWM.news now to read them. Keep yourself updated with what's going on, podcasts, articles, etc., etc. Head over to Twitter and follow Brad.
Yep, and if you and because I've got the opportunity to, if you're watching Royal Rumble this weekend, I will be having a preview for it this Sunday. Do you want to have you got an article coming up this week, or that you need to?
My article's already out. It's 5 people, 5 wrestlers who didn't realise wrestle for.
Read that. Read mine on Sunday for the preview for Royal Rumble. Read everyone's, but read mine especially. And follow me on Twitter at Brad Cassidy 170. Do you want to plug your socials whilst we're here?
Yeah, you follow me on Twitter at George__. And if you are in the area and heading up Old Street Grill, I think is what it's called, you shall see me there, as I will be there on Sunday watching the Royal Rumble with a friend of mine and getting pictures taken with Flash Morgan Webster and Mandrews, because I'm a little fanboy. But until next time, one was on a boat, one was in an arena. They were both pretty awesome. See you later. Bye.